Welcome, everyone. It's the Mike Tech Show, show number 916. Tonight, going to talk about an interesting Windows 10 fix that I ran into last weekend working remotely for a client, and I'll explain. Software that successfully recovered all the data from a crashed NAS device, D-Link device. Going to talk about the utility Wintoys, and then a bulk crap uninstaller. I seen a couple reviews of that, and I just want to download it, install it, and let's see how that compares to Revo Uninstaller, which I always use and always recommend. So let's get started. And the first one is going to be I was tasked with upgrading a client, their workstations and their peer server to QuickBooks 2024 Desktop Edition. So let me share my screen that I'm going to be working on. And let's make that max, take that, bring up my browser. And hold on a second. Going to pause. You know why? I don't have that link. Hold on. I thought I had it. Let me copy and paste from my notes. So, thought I had that link, and let's paste and go. And all right. There we go. Okay, let me unpause. So, and this is the first link, and it was just a lot of searching, and this is Bourne's Tech and Windows World. And this is the Windows 10 says no internet, but internet's working. I mean, I'm remoted in with Synchro. I have no problem running, on the peer server, which is Windows 10 Pro. And I got to install the QuickBooks Database Manager. I go to install it, and it stops and replies, I do not have proper, I don't have internet access, so it cannot continue. So, yes. So, Mr. Ghostly says, always DNS. That's exactly what I thought. I changed the DNS. I made sure 8.8.8.8 was the first one because it's the second one, and the router was the first one. I made sure it was private internet. I made sure our private network. I changed the DNS. I then did an IP config /flush DNS. No joy. Same problem. So I figured, I'll reboot. No joy on the reboot. So I'm like, okay, let's try something else. And I'm now drawing a blank. I tried like 2-3 other things, and no. So here's what was happening. And when I made this registry edit and reboot it, everything worked perfectly. So one of the other things, there was no Windows updates happening. I don't know when this stopped. It had to be within a month because that was the last time I was on the box. But when you get that message, there's a registry entry that it is telling to probe the network but ignore the condition if it thinks there's no internet. You literally have to change the HKey local machine system, current control set, services, NLA, SVC, parameters, internet, and there is enable active probing. You set it to 0. So I changed it from 1 to 0. I reboot it. Instant. Complete. It worked. So what I said, that's it. I bookmarked this link. I said, this has to be the first link for tonight's show, because where would you think that? And me, I was at my wit's end. I wasn't sure what I was going to be doing. And luckily, I was able to do this all remotely and reboot. So just interesting. So we get a referral for the D-Link NAS, and it's the DNS 321. And the client called us, and it's dead. So they can't power it on. So there was a couple other things. So we scheduled my son for yesterday. He went on site and could not get this powered up, but said, we will do our best to get it back. Now, they use it more for backups of 2 workstations, but they do have files on it. He brought it back, and we could not get the power on. We tried a couple things that we read into some forums, but to recover from the drives, and this is a double drive, so it's 2 drives, and I'm crossing my fingers that it's RAID 1. So this way I could take any drive out and I should be able to read it. Well, cannot be read in Windows. I plugged it into my dock and then plugged that into my Synology NAS, and it could read it, but it couldn't read the files. But at least it came up. So I'm like, okay, let me try this forum here from D-Link, and they recommend a couple programs, and one of them's RStudio. And that's the second or third link for tonight. RStudio for RTools Technology, $49.99. Well, technically it was the $79, and I'll show you that. I installed this and didn't buy it just to see if it could read, because the demo mode, I think, lets you restore a file, but it could read everything perfectly. I'm like, oh man, this is perfect. And so I paid, $79, because this is the one. The big difference here was I needed to be able to do NTFS, because if you look at the $49 one, it's only FAT, and then the 59 can do NTFS. So I don't know. I'm not sure what REFS is, but I figured this is, for $79, I know it worked. So that was it. I paid it gladly, and I'm going to bring it up. Oh, you know what? Let me close that. Do we really want to close the tab? Yes. So let me show you. Let's go RStudio. Hold on a second. There we go. I'm starting the RStudio app. And this shows you all the partitions that it can see. And as soon as I seen that it's seeing the Western Digital partitions of this drive, and it even showed me the space. And thank you, Mr. Sam. It's a resilient file system is being used for Windows Server file shares, protective error correcting file system. Thank you. I couldn't remember that off the top of my head. I appreciate that. I knew I wanted more things covered than not, because this is the test Windows 11 system that I have, and I only have the one license, and this is where I have my dock connected. So this is where I'll do my recovery work. I am so happy that this worked. Very, very pleased. A thumbs up for that program, RStudio. Okay, been looking at this. It's a Microsoft Store download, and it's called Wintoys. And it's got a couple different things that it can try. that it can load. So let me go Wintoys and run the app. And let's take a look. It sees that it's Windows 7. It shows how much memory, performance. There are different performance tweaks. You have the ultimate performance plan, hardware accelerated GPU scheduling, virtualization based security. Here we got startup apps, and we can do some tweaks. It shows almost every app and what we can tweak. You have an activity history, virtual settings, gaming settings. There are a lot of tweaks. And then let's go to the tweaks. There's a desktop tweak, start menu, file explorer, privacy, ads. This I liked. Turn off everything for ads, so you're not going crazy looking, with all the different pop-ups, Windows tips and suggestions. I don't need any of them. Here is change system-related settings that might ease your work, and clock with seconds, clipboard history. Here we got mouse acceleration is on by default, and feedback notifications. God mode. Hey, that's kind of cool. Let's turn on God mode. God mode was enabled on your desktop. All right. Nice. Alt-Tab includes, and then user account control. I don't know what that's doing. User account control. Always or only changes. Never. All right. So take a look at this. It's free. I always like looking at utilities that can tweak and that can, help us out, get some more performance. So check that out. It's called Wintoys, and I will have the link in the show notes. Now, this next one, I did not, today I was so busy, I have not had a chance to install it. So we're going to install it now, and let's see what happens. This got some really good reviews, and it's called Bulk Crap Uninstaller. So let's download from SourceForge, and let's see what happens. Is it downloading? See, that's the problem with the. Oh, there it is. It's downloading, and there you see the RStudio I downloaded earlier, and today, and then the Windows installer for the Wintoys. Let's run the setup. And standard. Ooh, portable. Oh, I like that. Right off the bat. Portable installation? Absolutely. Let's go. Extra languages? Nah. Let's go next. Install. So you can see this from scratch, running this for the first time on my test box. So if it blows up my box, not a problem. I don't want that to happen. We don't want to view the manual. And let's launch it. So we'll say yes. So it's scanning the registry. It's looking for all the programs that are installed. And it's reading them fairly quickly. Actually, let's see. Bullcrap uninstaller, continue. There's 6 screens. Show uninstallers in groups. We're going to take the defaults here. Advanced users, system components. Show uninstallers marked as system components. I'm not going to do that. Protected uninstallers. Nah. But I like what it's asking. Highlight invalid uninstallers. Okay. Show unregistered applications in the list. Boy, there's a lot of options here. Network access. More settings. Why not? Let's take a look. Okay. Man, the interface, uninstallation, create a restore point before uninstalling. Absolutely. Prevent system shutdown and restart. Yes. Automatically kill stuck quiet uninstallers. Oh, I like some of these options. Boy, this is way, way more advanced than Revo Uninstaller. Detection, application stores to scan, Chocolatey, Oculus Store, Scoop, Stream, Windows Store apps. Ooh, Windows features. We can detect and maybe remove Windows features. So we got folders and then general, show tweaks, show updates, hide published by Microsoft, show system components. Let's close and let's finish setup. And let's see, never show this window again. Yep. And here we go. So now I can uninstall. Here's Chocolatey. So let's right click and uninstall that because that's something I can install again. And that's used by scripts for being able to, we're going to go intelligent sort. And let's continue. Let's see what it does. Prevent shutdown, restart. Yep. Ooh. Begin uninstallation. And here it is as we're uninstalling. Ooh, that was loud. All right. It failed. So why did it fail? Let's take a look at this. Do you want to look for leftovers from performance installation? Yes. So it's searching for leftovers, but I don't know why Chocolatey failed. No leftovers were found. So now continue scanning, but you can see it's still there. Let's see if it stays. I think it will. So we're going to have to investigate why that failed. Classic Notepad. So it's finding even little things that I've installed. Google Updater, Chrome. There's Instant House Call, of course. The Microsoft, let's see. Microsoft Mail and Calendar. Be careful because, here's OneDrive. Can you successfully uninstall OneDrive? That'd be like Cortana. Can we really uninstall it? I would like to. So we have to see. Here's my RoboForm, Splashtop Streamer, Ultra Virus Killer, VLC, Vulkan Runtime. That's by Microsoft. I always install that. Microsoft To Do. I'm not a clip champ. Let's see if it uninstalls Clipchamp. Let's continue. Uninstalling Clipchamp. And it completed. Clipchamp was, Microsoft pushing that down our throats. So, very nice. This might be a good way to get rid of some Microsoft, I can't believe you could actually remove Microsoft Defender. I would not do that. Microsoft Sticky Notes, Microsoft Store. Yeah, as much as I don't use the store, you kind of have to, because just like look at the toys that I mentioned tonight, you could only get that through the Microsoft Store. There's like HP Smart. You can only get that through the Microsoft Store. So there's a lot of programs. I used to not like the Microsoft Store. So Microsoft Tips, Microsoft To Do. I don't use Microsoft To Do. As a matter of fact, I didn't even know that was on the system. So let's uninstall it. Let's continue. On installation, we're uninstalling Microsoft To Do, and it's gone. All right. We like that. Let it continue. Right now, I'm kind of happy. Interesting why it failed on Chocolatey. Here we go. Adobe Genuine Service. Let's get rid of that because that's a pain, especially when I have, supposedly, and they've taken it back. Keep Genuine Service, uninstall. What Adobe does, I paid for a full license for this machine that's never, ever supposed to expire, and Adobe keeps yelling at me that it's not legitimate, but it is legitimate. So Adobe doesn't like that when you try to get around and not have a subscription to the monthly, DC Pro for Adobe Acrobat. Here we got Power Toys. Let's see. Quick Assist, our studio. Of course, we're keeping that. We love it. That worked great. Skype, again, I didn't even know I had that installed. There's a few things here I'm learning. Hey, I use the snipping tool all the time. I don't think I would ever want to uninstall that. Solitaire and casual games. Yes. Let's get rid of that. And you know what? I think I could check a whole bunch of these and do a quiet uninstall and then look at the log. And it seems like that's very, very possible. So, and I'm not going through looking for other items, but you could, I believe, check a whole bunch and then take it, get rid of, and do a nice bulk cleanup, which I like that idea. And since this is so detailed, very, very cool. So just thought I wanted to show these, and let me exit out of my remote session with my test machine, which is behind me, which is undercover there. So that's all I had for tonight. Been crazy busy today with a lot of little things. Give you an example. I want to know if anybody's had this problem. Person has a Teams meeting and accepts it in Teams. It appears on his calendar in Outlook, and this is a pure Microsoft Business 365. They're all 365 standard. And then the appointment vanished. Now, I did a couple tweaks today for the Outlook settings, and one of the things I did was told it not to delete the appointment out of the inbox after it's there, and to not auto accept or auto decline. There's a couple very specific little calendar tweaks and a mail tweak, and then of course closed everything from Office and did a quick repair. I don't know yet. That's coming back. We'll see. Client needs, and it's an older client who, to protect him, he's not allowed to access the Synology. So it's like it's not there. But he has been working from home and since the pandemic, but he does have a work system and he does go in occasionally, and he's 95 years old, and we are going to give him instant house call, an account just to be able for him to log in to his workstation. And then my son, of course, has to train him how to do that because he's occasionally has files that he's working on both. Now, some of the other employees, we set them up with the VPN and have a map drive to the Synology, but they don't want us to put him through that. So what we're going to do is put him through a remote access to his desktop. Anyway, that was today. We had a laptop finished up that's going to be installed tomorrow afternoon. We have another desktop we're finishing for a client. Waiting on the client purchased direct 11 desktops direct from Dell. They're coming in on Monday, and we're slated for Wednesday, my son and I, to install them. And we have to, of course, we'll be using fabs on all the workstations, taking out the drives and running that and getting all the new systems. That will finish up for this year all of the Windows 10 systems that we need to upgrade a whole new hardware for Windows 11. So we're already working with clients, telling them at worst case they have to budget for next summer, because we don't want to run into the fall, because October 2025, that's the deadline for Windows 10 and security updates, unless Microsoft changes that. So we have that planning. Trying to think, There was some other quick calls. Oh, here you go. An older client called us because Malwarebytes found some items, and he's like, I go nowhere. How could it quarantine an item? I said, well, it's doing its job, and I had to explain that Malwarebytes was doing what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to find something like that and quarantine it, and the fact that you can literally go anywhere. There's no such thing as bad sites anymore and good. A good site, a normal site that you go to can be infected. And with a perfect example, and I always used this a few years ago, Philly.com, which is sort of a collaboration of the Phillies news and newspapers. And they had an infection on their front page that anybody who visited it got infected. That's because the ad team that sells and posts ads didn't review the code that someone purchased for them to put it on the website. So you got a non-technical person allowing bad code and to get published to the website. Not good, but it just shows you how easy it is, and to have a major site get infected. And that's why you got to have good antivirus, good anti-ransomware running on your system. That is it for tonight's show. Remember, email me any questions or suggestions, MikeTechShow@gmail.com. Don't forget to go to the main website. That's where all of the show notes are going to be. That's at MikeTechShow.com, and that'll forward you to MikeNation.net, which is the main host. And then don't forget, best way to support the show, please click on the donation button, make a one-time donation, whatever it is. That is huge, huge help. So thank you for downloading and staying subscribed, and hopefully everything going well. We'll see you next week, same time, same channel. Bye-bye, everybody.